What's going on, guys? DStyleBoxing here. Thanks to those joining me live and to those that will be joining me on archive. What's going on, everybody? Um, Chris Van Heerden, South African fighter who is most known not for being a professional boxer at welterweight, but most known for being a boxer that sparred Conor McGregor and made Conor McGregor look like an amateur. This sparring session occurred last year. Okay, TMZ caught up with him. You could search the video here on YouTube if you want to go ahead and if you want to check that out. All right. The reason I wanted to do this video was a lot of interesting things were said and confirmed by Chris Van Heerden. Like he finally said out of his mouth, he said it, right? So first of all, as if you don't know by now, okay, I don't know what to tell you, but Paulie Malignaggi left the Conor McGregor training camp. He felt that they were painting a not so pretty picture with the pictures that they were portraying out there. Even one that insinuated that Conor McGregor knocked him down. Paulie got pissed off. He probably got tired of all the people on Twitter saying, "Oh, Paulie, what's wrong, Paulie? You're getting schooled, Paulie." And I think that's what ultimately did him in. And Paulie got his feelings hurt. And look, at the end of the day, we could speculate all we want. We don't know. I don't know if Paulie's telling the truth. I don't know if Conor's telling the truth. Who fucking knows? The truth is probably somewhere in the fucking middle. All right, but nonetheless, the pictures surfaced. Supposedly they were leaked, and apparently they had them deleted, but it was too late. And you know the story, right? And Paulie got pissed. He left, and now Paulie is just saying things now that Conor went as like a girl when he gets hit to the body, and he's after saying he's no longer going to be talking about the sparring session, and he's not going to give out any information. Here he is still running his mouth, Paulie. Like, you know, he hasn't stopped. You know, it's insane. Like, Paulie, shut up, right? But anyway, Chris Van Heerden was caught up, and they asked him about it, and he said, "Look, they did to Paulie. Well, he believes that they did to Paulie what they did to him. You know, he confirmed he wasn't even paid for that sparring session. He said he was just doing it to be nice. You know, the Conor camp, you know, or Conor McGregor at the time, you know, wanted to work on some boxing. He said, yeah, I'll help you out. That's not a problem. We could do some sparring. You know, just helping the guy out. And as you guys know now, they released an edited version of the sparring session, which made it seem like Conor McGregor was getting the best of Van Heerden, right? And does this sound familiar? Yeah. So Van Heerden, however, had a copy of the film himself. So he you know, I don't know if he foresaw that being a possibility or whatnot, but he had a copy. So he released the entire version, the unedited version, and as we now know, Conor McGregor looked like shit in the sparring session, right? So one has to question themselves, why would they release an edited version of it? When, you know, for what reason? Why would they release anything? If they just said Conor McGregor sparring Chris Van Heerden, a pro boxer, you know, people would have been, oh, well, that's cool. Conor's working on his boxing. That's it, right? But they were trying to paint an ugly picture there. And the ironic part is this, is if Van Heerden never had a copy of the footage himself, till this day, okay, you would have multiple Conor fans and even boxing fans believing that Conor McGregor was schooling him in sparring. And we would never have seen how terrible he looked, right? So that's why for the people saying, well, Paulie must be lying. Well, I don't know. They've done this before. Like, I'm just saying, all right? Now, Van Heerden is an active boxer right now and a better point in his career than Paulie is right now. So it is definitely possible that Paulie didn't do as good as Van Heerden did. But still, right? He confirmed that Paulie Malignaggi called him, that he was pissed off, you know, and they talked about it, and Van Heerden said, yep, they did the same thing to me. And he said they must have learned, because now they don't allow people to, outside from only their crew, only they get to film it, only they get to take pictures. You can't take anybody yourself. Look, man, I could understand, you know, the whole, well, we don't want you to give information to our opponent, yada yada yada. But after the way Conor, this is the second time now that he's being accused, or not him, but his camp, but he's the head of the camp, right? Being accused of insinuating that he was getting the best of a pro boxer in the sparring session, right? It's the second time now. It's not like, and it happened with these other sparring partners. I don't even know, but Van Heerden and Paulie around boxing circles, people know who they are, right? And this isn't the first time. You know what I mean? Like, it's that if you have to, even if you're a McGregor fan, kind of wonder, like, well, why don't they just let the guys have a copy of the footage, you know, for security purposes? You know, that's it. And that, or just don't release any photos. I mean, you have to really decide here, because if I'm a professional boxer and the Conor camp calls me, wanted me, like, you know, to spar with him, I'm not sparring the guy unless one of my own people is there filming it. Period. And if he whoops my ass, then what? Then you could release that if you want, right? But if he doesn't whoop my ass, I got the footage, man. Like, Van Heerden did not release the footage to people, all right? And I know a lot of McGregor fans were attacking Van Heerden for leaking the footage. I know you guys were butthurt when the truth came out, but keep in mind, yet would have it been unethical for him to release it? You know, if they secretly filmed it and Conor didn't know anything about it, and, you know, just to make Conor look bad? Well, yeah, but that's not what happened. They were trying to paint an ugly picture of what really happened, right? So I still stand by my statements in that video that I made yesterday. Paulie should be a professional, and he should have waited until after the fight to start saying all this stuff, right? That's what Paulie should have done, because he did sign a no disclose for him. But Chris Van Heerden is saying, look, I'll replace Paulie Malignaggi. If he needs a sparring partner, I'll go, in his words, I'll go beat him up some more. But he's going to have to pay me, because he states that he didn't do it for money last time. He was just doing it to help him out, right? But now, if he's going to be a sparring partner now, you're going to have to pay me. Okay, there's going to be a price tag, which I'm sure that they'll offer to pay him. But he stated he'll give Conor that work if he wants it again, right? And so we'll see what happens with that. I don't know if they'll actually call Van Heerden. I don't even know if Van Heerden's a good choice anyway to prepare for Floyd Mayweather. I mean, here we are talking about a guy who doctored, put out edited version of a sparring video to make it seem like he was getting the best of Chris Van Heerden. Okay, and we're talking about this guy being Floyd Mayweather's opponent. I mean, this is fucking insane, right? That's why I maintain, I don't know what the fuck happened in the Paulie Malignaggi and Conor sparring videos. I just don't know. I wasn't there, right? I could only speculate. You know, I maintain Paulie should keep his mouth shut because he signed a no disclose form. I still maintain that, but I just have a feeling, I honestly do, it's the same thing. Like, I have a feeling that maybe Paulie's not 100% accurate. Maybe he's over-exaggerating how he was getting the best of Conor, but like, something tells me it's not the – I do know it's not the picture Conor's putting out there, that he's just clowning Paulie and having an easy time with him in sparring. Okay? I mean, could I see him maybe getting the best of Paulie overall? Probably. But you know, clowning him and stuff like that, I don't see that. Like, I just don't see that whatsoever, right? And because it's like a double-edged sword here, because in one hand, this is a pattern of behavior with the Conor camp. This is a pattern of behavior, right? And on the other hand, we also know that Paulie, when he says something doesn't bother him, it's I can't stop to think about, like, I remember Paulie when he was having beefs with DeBella, and he's a very emotional guy. Like, you know, I remember he called into Rope-a-Dope Radio, like, all pissed off because Lou DiBella said something on our radio show, right? Like that's what DeBella said, and he was like mad at us about it. And then the whole Jessica thing with Broner, I remember, like it just he claimed that Jessica was just a side piece and weekend pussy and blah 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 blah. But it looked to me he was getting pretty pissed off when Broner kept bringing her up. I'm just saying, okay. So to me, the truth is somewhere in the middle, more than likely, right? But still, Ben Heerden. So I don't know if that's the right choice for Conor. I would like to see the sparring session. I want to see how much Conor has improved in a year. That'll be interesting to watch. But they're not going to release the footage anyway, right? If I was this Chris Van Heerden or any boxer, unless you're just some like journeyman boxer and you don't give a fuck, but if you're a boxer, you are a brand, okay? And it's what people need to understand. As a boxer, you are an independent contractor. You are a brand. That's what you are. So when someone tries to insinuate that they're whooping your ass, and especially if it's not true, right, they're hurting your brand, right? Chris Van Heerden didn't want to be known as a dude that was getting clowned by Conor McGregor in sparring, okay? He don't want to be known as the boxer that was getting clowned by Conor in sparring, right? So I don't blame him for releasing the footage. Because now he's known as a guy that was schooling Conor, okay, in fucking sparring, right? And the truth is, he would have just been known as Chris Van Heerden if they never pulled that bullshit, right? People would have just like why isn't this happening with Lomachenko and what's that UFC fighter's name, right? Lomachenko helps him out and they do sparring. You notice, and you notice how like I forgot the guy's name, but he even went like to Lomachenko's fight and everything, and they're friends. Like it's not that serious. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed how no one's like talking about how Lomachenko schooled him, or that there's no like edited videos of him looking good against Lomachenko, or you notice that? See, those are professionals, okay, and that's how professionals should handle themselves. And that's it. If you're a professional boxer, right? Hey, I would ask for 6 figures. Hell, I might even ask for $1 million. If I'm like a Terrence Crawford or something like that, right? Or a Spence or anybody like that, okay, at that level. And Conor's camp wants me to go spar. I'm telling you, man, 7 figures. You're gonna pay me $1 million to go out there and spar you. $1 million. You're gonna have to pay up, right? And you're gonna have to pay all my expenses. You're gonna pay the plane. You're gonna pay the hotel. You're gonna pay all of that. And I want a nice suite too. Like you're gonna take care of all that, and you're gonna pay me $1 million, at least 6 figures. 400,000, 500,000 at the very least. Okay, I would ask for a lot of money if I'm Van Heerden. Even though he's not at that level, I would still say, give me that, pay up. 6 figures. You're gonna have to pay up 6 figures, and if I can't have my camera in there, you're gonna have to pay for that too. You're gonna have to pay me another, 200,000-300,000 if I can have my own camera crew there, all right? And that's it. And I would sign a no disclose form, and guess what? I'll make them sign a you can't release photos form. Right? That's what I would do. Oh, you don't want to pay that much? Well, I mean, some of these guys, you could do it for fucking free. Let me video it, and I'll spar you for free. We could release it after the Mayweather fight. How about that? But yeah, these guys, you got to get aggressive, man. If don't be naive. It's at this point with a guy like Conor McGregor, the guy's a weasel, okay? And I'm sorry. It's you can't and look, let me tell you, this has happened before. Like it's stories have come out. Like I remember when Lamont Peterson's people were saying that he was whooping Floyd and sparring and this, that, and the third, and that was to help the brand of Lamont Peterson. That's what that was. Nobody really believes that shit, okay? But Smatter, remember the Smatter 4 thing, right? So, and that one was There's a whole story behind that one, but that was very unethical what happened, but that's a whole nother thing. But when it comes to a guy like Conor McGregor, you got to insure yourself, like one way or another, right? It's either those conditions, like his personal photographers are there, the UFC photographers are there. They have cameras at that center, and they get to videotape it, but you don't. That should Those are red flags. Like, I can't believe Paulie didn't see all that. Okay, don't be a gullible boxer. Like, oh, I'm going to go help out, Conor McGregor. He really wants to work on his boxing, and I really want to help the guy out. I think I could. I saw some stuff that I think he could work on. And Conor McGregor is a fucking arrogant fool. He doesn't want to improve anything. The guy thinks. Okay, I honestly believe he thinks he could just destroy any boxer in the boxing ring, right? I think his people tell him that he's the boss and he's the man, and nobody can fuck with him. And after a sparring session, they probably get in his ear and like, nah, you got the best event here, and you whooped his ass. Like you could just tell that that's the type of camp that it is, right? And even if you say, well, no, he's not like that, he's more humble. Let me tell you something, man, right? This is twice now that this has happened, twice, right? So that's enough for a lifetime, okay? So if you're a boxer and you're thinking, I'm going to go there with good intentions, I'm going to go help Conor McGregor out. I really like that guy. I think if he works on this, works on that, okay, he's not interested in that, right? If anything, he's going to take the knowledge you give him, right, and still try to exploit you. Okay, to me, that's a fucking weasel. That's what that is. So, fuck him, right? If you're a professional boxer with a name and you're sparring someone who only has to gain off of rumors and insinuations that he got the best of you, you better film that shit, right? If you're sparring an MMA fighter, if you're sparring whoever, right, an up and coming boxer, if they have nothing but things to gain off of sparring you, you should film that shit. That way, if they come out saying that they whooped your ass or whatever it is, you can release the footage. Do a Van Heerden, okay? So, like Van Heerden said, man, they adapted, right? He's like, yeah, that's probably why they didn't allow Paulie to bring his own crew, his own photographers, because they want to control the picture that is put out to the public, right? Now, the situations are a little different. The Van Heerden one was just a random sparring session. This is an actual camp, okay, for a fight. So I understand pictures being put out there because you have to promote the fight somehow, right? So that part is different. And also, they didn't release an edited video of, so it's a little different, right? But hey, okay, this is DStyleBoxing. What do you guys think? Do you think Van Heerden should go and spar your boy McGregor over there? You think he should do it? And if you're Van Heerden, how much money do you ask for if the conditions are no footage? You can't bring your camera. You can't bring anything like that. We will have all that. How much money will you ask for? Is any amount of money worth that? I say $1 million at least. That's me, right? At least $1 million, $1 million at the very least. Okay. That's all I really got to say about that. You guys stay cool.